My God, the episode of Boku no Hero Academia was it was a masterpiece, I must say. Literally, it was the best episode we've got so far this whole entire season. It literally reminded me of when I was a kid watching my favorite superhero just beat down the bad guy. It had that feeling. The OST, how it coordinated within that fight with Normal and All Might, it just all worked in conjunction with everything that was going on the screen. The animation, holy freaking Christ, Bones really pulled it out at that one scene. It just kind of gave it all, and it just looked so freaking amazing. Everything about this episode was perfect, literally. Nothing for me really was bad. I just loved every single second of it because we really saw All Might kind of go all out and try to defeat the villains. And so he kind of saw what happened. He saw the aftermath of what happened to Aizen when they were 13. He saw what's happened. He said to himself, I've got to sort this out. I'm here. I will sort this out. I have no time left, in the sense he has 1 minute left. But even in the face of adversary, in the face of holy freaking Christ, I might get defeated, he doesn't actually back down to the situation. He just kind of gives it his all. He gives it even more than his all. He gives it even more than 100%. He goes beyond that point and just defeats Normal. And it was bloody perfect. I was sitting there going, I actually began to cry how amazing it was. Like, the animation was so freaking amazing. The OST was amazing. How he said, I am the symbol of peace. And I just kind of said to myself, he is the embodiment of that word, in a sense. Sometimes you get heroes in anime that kind of just personifies the whole idea. Yes, I'm a hero, but it doesn't actually kind of just resonate with the audience too much. All Might's that kind of character that resonates with an audience. He kind of gives you personally the hope that he will sort the situation out. He will actually defeat the bad guys and actually kind of get out of the situation in life. He gives you the hope. His persona, his way, the way he acts, his voice actor, the OST, how it all just comes together and meshes into his character. It works, and it kind of just gives you the whole idea that he will save the day. He is the hero. He is the actual kind of good guy. He gives you the hope. He fills you with hope that he will actually get out of the situation. It's actually so freaking amazing, I must say. I was sitting there going, I was literally, it was like when I was a kid. It felt like I was a kid again, watching my favourite superhero just beat down the bad guy. It felt like that. I haven't seen this much hype since I was a child watching Dragon Ball Z when Goku managed to defeat Frieza. It hasn't been like that ever since then. The hype in this episode was beyond. I couldn't contain myself all the time. I uncontrollably started crying at one point. It's how great it was. I had the biggest smirk on my face just watching All Might defeat Norman. Since we even saw All Might at his kind of worst, and since we kind of saw at one point Kurogiri and Normal actually kind of overpower him and kind of actually get into a situation where he couldn't get out of the situation, since he was stuck inside a warp gate and Normal was actually attacking his weak spot. And then Deku sees it and goes, holy freaking Christ, I can't let this happen. I can't see my hero, my teacher, get killed in this situation. I have to go and do something. He does it without thinking. He goes straight forward and says, I've got to go and do it. In a sense, I just sit there and go, Deku, you're doing it again. You kind of going forward without thinking. You have to kind of just sit there and think. That's his kind of character. He sees someone in peril. He has to go and save them. Which kind of almost led to his demise as well, because we saw, as he was running, Kurogiri caught whiff of what he's going to do, and then kind of almost did something to him. But what happens is, Katsuki comes in and saves him, which I kind of thought was a nice juxtaposition between what happened originally, since when Deku saved Katsuki, it was a nice kind of transition that Katsuki in this time actually saved Deku and kind of took down Kurogiri in some way. Granted, the way he was talking, the way he was going to defeat Kurogiri, made him to be not a superhero. And since he's not that kind of hero, he's not that kind of person you're kind of thinking, yeah, he's a hero. He's got kind of a psychotic streak to him. He has that kind of persona about him. He's kind of a little bit psychotic. But I kind of like it about him. He's kind of a nice, kind of juxtaposition between every single character there. It's actually kind of nice him being there. Yeah, sometimes an arsehole, but really, he's a nice kind of juxtaposition between every other single character there, and I like it. I like his character, and how, even when Shoto came over, Kirishima and Katsuki, that whole scene was amazing, because you saw the students come in and actually kind of overpower the bad guys, when I kind of just saved All Might. It's kind of a nice thing as well, in the sense it's not just the heroes that come in and save them, it's the junior heroes that come in and save them. It's even the actual students that do stuff as well, in the sense they all save All Might in their own way, and it's kind of really nice, but really, the main thing was when All Might was just beating down Normal. I was sitting there going, freaking hell, this is pinnacle hype. This has actually just got me to a point where I don't know what else is going to happen today. I don't even know what else is coming out. I don't even know if they can even top this episode, because this episode was so freaking amazing. Again, one thing I do like what Funimation did with this series is they put it on in the morning in England, because it just feels like a Sunday morning cartoon. It feels like one of those things again. It just feels nostalgic. It kind of personifies that whole idea in a sense. All Might personifies the whole idea of your childhood superhero, the kind of person that will go and say, yeah, he has 1 minute left. He has no time left to go and kind of do anything. But he doesn't actually kind of sit down and say, look, well, freaking out, I'm screwed. Even Deku kind of says, you've only got 1 minute left. He doesn't actually really say it, but he kind of just says, your time is running out. Since he kind of realizes that maybe this whole entire time, All Might had actually been gone because he had no time left. He has no time to actually react. He has to kind of calm down because he's used up all his time. He's used up all his 3 hours. So he can't really do too much. But he kind of says to me, like, look, your time is running out. And he just gives him the thumbs up. And so it just makes you realize that, yes, he has no time left, but he won't back down. He's going to sort the situation out. He's going to save the day. And I must say, Tomura was terrifying. Like, Tomura as a character, as I always said in this whole entire review series, as he's always appeared, his presence is terrifying. The way he acts is terrifying. And yeah, in this episode, the way he was talking, the way he was actually just kind of speaking towards All Might, it just kind of, it managed to juxtapose the whole idea of hope with the whole idea of fear. It elicits fear into you, in the sense you didn't know what's going to happen, you didn't know what Tomura was going to do. You actually didn't know what his character was going to pull next, as he's kind of really psychotic. He's a strange character. He says about his father as well. I was kind of thinking to myself, there's more going on with his character I want to know about as well. And says I want to kind of know more about his actual kind of character, his actual persona, what's really going on with him, because he seems kind of interesting in his own regard. But at the end, it just kind of makes you realise that next week is going to be the hype. It's the final episode as well, so not too sure what they're going to pull next week, but if it's a one-up from this episode, I don't know what's going to happen next, because this episode was the pinnacle of Boku no Hero Academia. It really just kind of brought the hype in, and it kind of just worked. It was bloody amazing. Each character was bloody amazing in their own right, in a sense. Even Ochako's actually began to cry when she saw All Might come in. You just saw that point, in the sense it just kind of personified the whole idea that they see this person's hope. They see this person as the person that will save the day, because that's who All Might is. Yeah, he has this defect. He can't be in power for very long, but he has to actually kind of keep up the image of a superhero. He has to keep up the image of a symbol of peace, and he even does it. He goes forward and says, I've got to do this. I've got to save the day. I just fucking love him. He's an amazing character. And I just want more animes like this. It's so freaking great. And I don't want to see his anime end. It could just go on forever. It'd just be so freaking great. It could be 300 episodes long. It'd be bloody amazing, because it really is. It's one of those animes that just really gets you hyped for the Sunday afternoon. I just fucking love it. So yes, with all that said, having a driver, if you have enjoyed the video, do leave a like. It doesn't quite a bit. If you enjoyed my content as a whole, do leave a sub. It doesn't quite a bit. But with all that said, having a driver, and I will see you guys later.